All right. Welcome back to the Talk About Purpose podcast. I am Matthew Huey.
I am Brian Harper.
I'm Frank Curry.
And today we're talking about a subject we touched a little bit about in the Jim Thorpe episode, Molly Maguires. So speaking of Jim Thorpe, man.
Great guy.
What an amazing. Definitely want to go listen to that podcast, guys.
Yeah.
Jim Thorpe was an amazing
He's
story.
a legend.
We just sat there and talked about him for so long. I didn't realize how long it was. The dude is amazing. It definitely gave me some fire. Speaking of great man, what about the opportunity we had to have a great man here the episode before, Dan, and talk to him? I mean, talk about a great man. He's my age. I feel he makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. I mean, talk about finding my purpose. I feel like my new purpose now is to do more because I've met a man of such. Not only is he a great man, but he's also very nice and considerate. He seems like he treats everybody like family. He's a very family man. Super alpha. Love him. Known for being in the county. I'm definitely going to go to him for all my needs. With mulch or anything like that. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean, I've been privileged enough to know the guy. He's like a brother to me. So but yeah, if you guys ever need anything, any kind of we do landscaping, we do hardscaping, for patios and walls and installations, stuff like that. We do lawn services, and we kind of do everything. And then he owns Gears mulch and topsoil as well. So he has good competitive rates for everything there with stone and mulch and sand and anything you can think of. So yeah, if you guys ever need anything, get a hold of Pleasant Valley Landscaping or Gears mulch and topsoil.
Yeah, that's great. I need some stone. Love to get some.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I'll be reaching out. Sounds good. Let's like you said, we touched base a little bit about the Molly Maguires. I'm assuming you're talking about the handprint and the
let's save that.
That's what I was talking about.
That's a juicy
that is a juicy.
But the Molly Maguires, since Frank, you did take a college course on this.
I did. I actually took a college course a little bit about the Molly Maguires, more in Schuylkill County, and stuff like that, based in Schuylkill County, Hazleton. It was from I think he was a doctor. Dr. Arend at the time was teaching the class, and I learned a lot. But I knew a little bit about it already. Like hanging out in Girardville and stuff like that. Jack and John Kehoe, and a good friend of mine, his parents own the Ancient Order of Hibernian House, so I used to go there all the time.
That's
especially for the St. Patty's Day parades and stuff. I used to throw the beads out the top window and stuff. Have a great time with my friends, John. I love John. So I know a little bit here and there. What it was is originally we're a very coal region area. It was the Black Rush, or they had the gold rush on the West Coast. We had the Black Rush here.
Yep.
So the way it was these workers or these coal miners, they weren't treated very well. And we know that's how it is, history and stuff. People are not treated well by the higher people, and they weren't treated well by the coal mine owners. And the way that it worked was they would come to you and they would say, "Hey, Matt and Brian, you're going to be a coal miner. I'm going to give you a shitload of money to be a coal miner. I'm going to give you this much money every month, and you're going to have enough money for your family. Look at how much money." And you're going to say, "Sign me up," because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, and they would give them houses too.
And houses, everything. Food, houses, everything's given to them, right?
Right.
However, the only way to do that is they have to buy everything from the company store. So you do know some of this. Good.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay,
Yeah,
good. So do you know about this? Do you know about it? Okay, so
the
the company store is a store that's owned by the coal mine company. So they tell you that you need to buy an axe, you need to buy a shovel, you need to buy boots, you need to buy this, that, and the other thing. But they also make the prices of everything, and you have to buy from that store. So even though they're giving you, say they give you $500 a month, your axe is $300.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you'll actually owe money.
Yeah. And sometimes
it's on credit.
And sometimes they wouldn't even give you money. They would give you coupons and vouchers to go buy stuff at their stores.
Yep.
That's how. So the money you made, they actually got quite a big percentage of it back.
Yeah. And then and the conditions weren't good. I mean, the black lung and stuff like that, but they treated them like garbage. Like they treated every coal mine worker like absolute trash and garbage. They even had kids in there called door boys. These door boys would open and close the doors to the mine for the carts to go down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
and breaker boys.
And breaker boys. Yeah.
They started at ages 7 and 8. My grandpa started at age 8.
Yep.
That's my pop. He started at age 8, died from black lung.
Yeah, it's just horrible. And then think about it all, and they work these crazy hours, you know what I mean? So that's why when you're in Schuylkill County, what you see on every corner is either a bar or a church, right? Why is that? Because that's really all there was to do. They'd work and they'd drink. They'd work and then they'd go to the bar after drink, and then every Sunday they'd go to mass. That's what life was.
Right.
And that's why when you see houses, everything was packed in as much as they can. So that's why when you see houses that go around the perimeter of the block, but then you see houses in the middle of the block. So do you ever see that where people don't have a yard, they have a house in the middle of it? That's why.
Yeah.
They were trying to stack as many people in that small area, in that little coal town for everybody, because you're only going to have the coal workers from the town working the coal mine. So the only way to have more workers is to have more housing.
Yep.
So if they don't have more streets, they just put houses in the middle of the block.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah, interesting thing. So St. Clair is close to us, St. Clair, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
That's a coal town.
Yep.
It's stacked
That's literally
on top of each other.
I was literally thinking of that as an example.
And
St. Clair.
there's a secondhand store in St. Clair that used to be the old miners store.
Yep.
That used to be the old one where you take your credits in and you would cash them in for the supplies there.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyways, that's pretty much the life of it. And you couldn't go against the coal mine owners.
Right.
They, just thrash you, whatever. They had police and stuff like that, whatever. So what happened was they started thinking about the Molly Maguires. Now there's hearsay to say that the Molly Maguires were really here. The Molly Maguires were overseas. It was more of an Irish, so they weren't here. But what happened was somebody got smart and started sending letters to the coal mine owners saying they were the Molly Maguires.
Hold on. This bugged me every time I looked at anything that had to do with Molly Maguires.
Go ahead, yeah.
And I want to address it right off the bat. Where did the name Molly Maguire come from?
There's speculation from what I've seen.
Yeah, but it's mostly
it's like a secretive society type thing from like somewhere in Ireland. Yeah. And it was
so the best answer I got for that was Molly Maguire was an actual person.
Okay.
And over in Ireland, not here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she got thrown out of her house. And she kind of was the start of them coming back at the owners over there.
Right.
Oh,
that's the best explanation I
thought I heard a little story like that. It sounds familiar to me.
Gives a little bit more purpose into their backstory.
Yeah. I mean, imagine seeing some older lady getting thrown out of her house because they raised the rent so high she couldn't afford it.
Right. That'd fuel some fires.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the story I heard because it was bugging me. A lot of people wouldn't talk about the name and where do you get the name Molly Maguire?
Well, even over here, they were saying that they were all like Irish settlers.
They were Irish settlers. Yeah, most of the coal workers were Irish. Yeah. Yep. So what they did is they sent a letter to the coal owner saying, "We're the Molly Maguires. We know what you're doing to your people. Cease and desist. It's whatever." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they were treating them like shit. People will get killed on a train, and I mean, just horrible shit. So. I mean, it made the coal mine owners hesitant, but it didn't stop them. So, I mean, eventually things escalated. I don't know if you know this or not, but it escalated to the point where we actually had hangings at Pottsville Courthouse, and they were one of the only few. But what led to that was the coal mine owners would actually dress up as women, and they would go and they would beat the shit out of the coal mine owner because it would be hilarious for the coal mine owner, and it would be really embarrassing for the coal mine owner to get the shit kicked out of him by a woman at that time. So they would go and they would just dress up as women and beat the shit out of these coal mine owners trying to get them to stop doing it. Well, things escalated to the point where that hanging happened. That's happened because somebody got shot. So I think it was one of the Kehoes shot somebody, and that's why the hanging happened. But we have a lot of rich heritage here about the Molly Maguires.
Right.
And
there's a tavern in St. Clair, the same place I was just talking about, that actually still has one of the hideouts for the Molly Maguires where they would hide them out at.
Yep.
Wooden keg.
Cool. Yeah, the wooden keg.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty dope.
So, I mean, that's pretty much the story in a nutshell.
Yeah. And the Molly Maguires, when that got printed, that was a name people knew because
of the stuff
in Ireland, that was crazy over there what they did.
Yep. And it was brutal. I heard they were brutal. I mean, I didn't even look it up because I didn't even see everything that they were doing over there. But
so
some of the stuff was actually brutal.
Yeah.
They were it was basically war. It was murder on murder. So when in the US they seen Molly Maguires were here, the Irish were already hated.
Right.
they were hated because they came in and people were afraid of jobs and all this stuff. And they were considered basically second-rate citizens. Basically. I mean, they weren't treated fair at all.
Right. Especially
And-
not from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that came in the newspaper, Molly Maguire, those words, people were like, oh, that's bad. They're like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
But for coal people, for the actual workers, it was somebody to stand up for them.
Yeah. I mean, they're still
The
looked
media?
at now.
Me?
You had to do it. You had to do it.
What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Your shtick.
I mean, there's still there are like discrepancies. They don't know if it's like a labor movement that Molly Maguire's here, or if it was like actually a criminal
Yeah.
criminal group. They're
Yeah,
saying.
right.
But I mean, I look at it as more of a labor movement because it's a fight back against an
Right.
unjust person.
Yeah.
They did fight
Um,
for a lot of labor
yeah.
reform
I mean, maybe it was gone a little too far for murderers and stuff like that. I mean,
and sabotage.
I kind of thought dressing up as a woman and beating the shit out of people was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like
It's pretty
that's
great.
comical to me. I probably wouldn't scoff too much at that, but like, I mean, that'd be all right. But be killing people and stuff.
Yeah.
Most people, that's what they remember the Molly Maguires for, is like their, the violent acts that they performed.
Yeah.
You know?
But
and they were violent.
They were
violent.
Yeah, and in their defense, so were the
Oh,
coal
yeah.
companies. They
Yeah.
were murdering people left and right
Yeah.
too.
They were.
And they-
didn't care.
It was also a race thing too.
It was.
Because all right, so that the Molly Maguires did establish in Ireland, came over to the U.S. They were Irish. You had to be a member of the
Yep.
Order of Hibernia,
Ancient Order of Hibernians. Yeah.
Ancient- which was an Irish Catholic something organization. So you had to be Irish to join that. Yeah, I
Yep.
forget.
I forget if it's
I
Catholic.
forget. And most of the people around here were like Protestant. So
Yeah.
Catholicism to them was not, you know, you can go get drunk and then say your Hail Marys, and they were like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Look at these
Right.
Irish people getting smashed. And, so it was a big race thing because the Welsh and I forget what other people, the Welsh were kind of in control of everything. And there was another group, Polish? No. Oh, man. Oops. This is why I should take notes. So they,
I don't think it's Polish. Is it Polish?
I don't remember. I feel
You can always
terrible.
look it up.
But
Yeah, yeah.
anyways, so they were in control. They had more like the monopoly, and then they would send the Irish people to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And because they were immigrants, they come over from the potato famine.
Mm.
They were coming over from a poor country trying to make something out of their lives
Mhm.
because there was nothing left over
That's
there
true.
for them.
Yeah.
So it was also more of a race thing as well, which
Yeah.
you wouldn't think
It was
because
like
we're
an
both white.
It was an immigrant thing. It was
It was
an immigrant
immigrant
thing.
thing.
You're an Irish
That's
Mick.
it.
You're an Irish Mick.
Yep.
And it was always, Dagos or Italians versus Irish, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Just sucks that they always like associated Molly Maguires with negative things, because they didn't always just do negatives.
They didn't. It wasn't always negative. Now, to get into the Molly Maguires, from what I understand, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, you had to join the Ancient Order of Hibernia, and then it was like a subgroup, like a deep-seated organization within that you had to then go to.
I believe so. Don't call me on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how it
I know it
worked.
was secret.
Yeah.
I know it was secret. The AOH is not.
No, the AOH
it's
was
not.
not. No, the Molly Maguires were,
Yeah.
which that letter that was written in was written from the Molly Maguires. There was no return address or anything. It was the organization.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, the media then took that and ran. Whether it was
The media?
actually-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta stop. No, but
Oh, your shirt. The
you're right.
media.
There's no, I don't believe it. No, I did a little bit of research and I noticed that, not everything that they did was bad, and they're associated with a lot of bad stuff. But I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys ever heard of like the Latimer massacre.
No.
No, there were the coal miners. They went on
What's that?
strike, and the Molly Maguires actually came, and they were actually like trying to be like intermediaries for that, to try and keep everything peaceful.
Wow.
And the local sheriff, and a posse came up to disperse all of the picketer, like the people on strike. They tried to disperse everything, and the Molly Maguires, their main goal in that was to keep everything peaceful. And it was just all in vain, because then the sheriff and the posse actually ended up killing, I think it was like 17 or 19 people.
Wow.
They ended up opening fire and killed, and then they like wounded like a dozen more.
Wow.
And that was not the Molly Maguires. They actually tried to keep everything peaceful. They were like trying to act as intermediaries to keep everything peaceful. And it just didn't work out. So it wasn't always them. It was, there's, that's your local government that's coming in and just shooting you.
Yeah. Well, even worse, it's not even the government.
Right. It's
a business.
Right. It's a business
that owns you left, right, up, down, sideways.
Yep.
Every which way they owned you.
Yep. And you were in contract too, so you couldn't even get out of it.
Right.
Like you could just say, "Oh, fuck this! I'm getting my family. I'm out of here." No.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
But I thought that was like an interesting piece of history right there. That they weren't like that's just like one of the positive things that they did do.
Yeah.
And that massacre then actually was like it shed a lot of light on everything that was going on, and it actually was like a pivoting point to where they really started to look into labor reform. Then.
Yeah. Labor reform. Labor reform. That was a big deal too, because that did happen during the Molly Maguire time.
Yeah, that's why they're saying it's either labor reform or just a criminal syndicate per se, because they did kill 24 owners and
bosses
it escalated to that though. It's not like these bosses and these superintendents and stuff sat down and took it. They pushed back, and when they pushed back, the Molly Maguires came back and back and forth until the Mollys were hung.
Yeah, so the Labor Reform Party started speaking up for the coal miners, and that kind of helped with the Molly Maguires. It kind of helped take the heat off of them and put it onto the Labor Party. What the owner of the Reading anthracite did, anthracite's a hard coal. What the owner did is he forced the Labor Party to have to strike. So where the Labor Party was starting to smooth things over between Molly Maguires and the owners, right? They were actually working for the better of everybody, really.
Yeah.
The owners didn't like that. Wanted to shut them down, so they turned on the switch. They turned the heat up by forcing the labor company to have to say no and have to picket protests Reading anthracite, which is terrible, because then there's something that comes in called scabs, which a scab is somebody when you have a union that goes on strike, labor union, that was the word I was looking for. Oh, geez,
there you go.
Hey. Anyways, a scab is kind of like a detestable person in most people's mind, because they'll come in and fill the shoes of the coal miners while they're on strike.
Oh.
The scabs were looked at as just despicable human beings.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. And they would have scabs on ready and on call. That's what he did. He planned this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it just...
The worst case scenario, going back to like the owners, like the coal mine owners. Well, I was saying like you're in contract, you can't leave. I did say that, but they can also evict you or fire you. And then you're dependent on that job for that house, because that's in the coal mine and everything like that. So that's really why they were stuck, because they can't lose their job, because they lose everything, because they're dependent on a house. Their house is dependent on everything like that. And they just sucked it up and dealt with it. But that's why they would just go to a bar.
Yeah.
They would just go to a bar right afterward. They wouldn't be with their family. They'd be in a bar, and then the women would stay home with their family.
Yeah. And it was total abuse by the owner of the companies. It was them abusing their own system that they made and created.
Yep. And they worked the piss out of them. They were working 12-hour days at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Long days, long hours. They'd work them forever. And then the only thing, think about it, these Irish Catholic men are still in tune with their religion. So they'd go and they'd work, and then they'd work these 12 hours and they'd drink or whatever. And then they'd go to the bar or go to church and pray. Like you're saying, they weren't well liked for that, because they'd go drink from their misery and then they'd go and repent their sins. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, at that point in time, what else do you have? You're stuck there. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, we see that today in age, people are stuck on the tit, right? They're stuck on the government tit. You think about it, you need to make over $83,000 to get better than what the government gives you for free with your health care and everything like that. At least that's the number that I saw was around
that's what I saw.
83,000. And the average job in the area is what? Let's start in School County. If you make $22 an hour, it's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Which is $44,000 a year, or a little more than that. I usually double it. 22 is 44, so it's like 44 ish about. That's what you do. So that's half of what the government gives you.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you take the free 83?
Right.
And that's if the company pays your insurance to get that.
Yeah.
$44,000 a year.
True.
You see what I'm saying? If not, if you get on Obamacare or whatever, it's at least $300 to $500 a month.
Oh yeah, you're going way down.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
30s.
So
yeah.
Like, you're where you at then? You know what I'm saying? So I understand where they were at, and I understand what they did, and I could understand why alcohol was a big thing then. I mean, they're depressed. There's a depressant for depression. So it just was not a good time.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what? I can see why it got a little hostile then. Because I mean, it's not like they just pushed back on the coal miner owners or anything, and then the miner owners didn't do anything about it. They just got more nasty. They didn't want picketing because that's loss of wages, loss of income. So they didn't want that to happen. They weren't allowing free unions or anything like that. They were just smoking everybody, making their ROI.
Yeah.
That's what they were doing.
They just had the huge uphill battle the whole time.
Yep.
You know, and it really goes to show like what unity and like just coming together and fighting for a common goal, a common cause. Yeah. Just you really got to have that type of motivation or have those type of people around you, to make bigger strides in life.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a support system. We're not the support system that dress up like women and beat the shit out of people or kill anybody or anything like that, obviously. But
it does sound fun, though.
But like we all struggle. I mean, unfortunately, in this situation, I feel the coal mine owner is the government because we're all underneath their thumb. We're all getting smoked by them. We're out there. They're telling us how much we're paying and what we're doing and get this mandate, or you're not getting this, or you're not allowed to do this or this, but we'll allow you to do this or this. Like telling us when we need an ID and when we don't to fit whatever they want. I need an ID to go to a restaurant in New York, but I don't need an ID to vote in who I want to make decisions for me.
But just like them, when do we finally unify and say enough is enough? We need to change something.
Well, the problem with that is we don't, like the coal miners, they all had the same struggle, right? We don't all have the same struggle, and we're divided with struggles. So like being a white man, I have less struggle than a black man, according to whatever it says. Like that's the normal consensus.
That's a way of them dividing us.
Understandable. Like I don't think we have a race problem. I think we have a money problem. I think we have a power problem. And I mean, like Joe Rogan said it perfect. Like we don't need to redistribute wealth to change the world. We need to figure out actual problems and solutions. So for instance, if we're going to talk about the African-American community being not having the opportunities as a white community does, okay, let's dive into that. Why? Oh, because less fathers in the family, or because of where you live and how shitty the area you live is, and you live in the ghetto and this, that, and the other thing. Well, then why the fuck are we not spending money on that? Why are we not putting money to make it better? Like if we would look at everybody as the coal miners did. So the coal miners looked at everybody as, hey, this is my community of coal miners. It doesn't matter if the coal miner is here. It doesn't matter if the coal miner is in California. It doesn't matter if the coal miner is overseas. A coal miner is a coal miner. We are one fucking family. They banded together. We can't do that here because everybody's separated out. Everybody's segregated. Everybody thinks one has been better than the other. However, with all these immigrants coming in, there's going to be one thing that all of us have that are here, and that's that we're not immigrants, and we worked our asses off and we're here, and now we have these immigrants coming in, getting all free stuff other than the Venezuelans. Yeah. They're getting kicked back out, which we don't need to get into that. Okay. But they are because they're socialist and they can't vote Democrat or whatever. But anyways, or vote whatever way they want. It's all crooked shit. And that's the way I look at it. So I don't care if the coal miner is fucking blue or red or not, and white, independent or black or whatever you want to call independent. I don't care what they are. They're all there at the top as a coal miner and as a coal owner. And we're all coal miners because at the end of the day, we're the ones paying 20% tax for this, 6% tax for that. I die, my family pays taxes on my goods. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? My estate per se. You see what I'm saying? So the way I looked at the Molly Maguires is they they unified together and they did something. What they did was probably not the best route to go. It's not politically correct. It's not humanly, it's not humane per se. But they did something and they united and they found the greater good. If we can get people to unite in that fashion and show these politicians, like, you fuckers are supposed to work for me.
Yeah.
I should be posing questions to you and you should not be telling me no, or you should not be telling me any other answer. I'm going to ask you a question and you need to answer that fucking question.
Yeah.
Because you work for me. I pay your salary. Plain and simple. I pay $32,000 a year in taxes.
Jesus.
Okay. That's before me spending a dime.
Yeah.
I spend $32,000 in tax. So these fuckers need to answer to me. I'm their boss. I'm their boss. I pay your fucking wage. If we can do that, and all of us round up and realize that every public official has to have an insurance policy over them, and we could go after those insurance policies and get them out.
Yeah.
Not only that, but let's put it this way. These coal miners or these politicians per se, we all work our jobs. We've worked jobs with money where we tended money or we handed money or something like that. What happens if we lose $100 3 times in a row?
Comes out of us, we get fired.
We get fired or we got to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Well, politicians can lose trillions. There's no consequences or repercussions or accountability to these people at all. Just like there was no consequences, repercussions, or accountability to the coal miners, owners, coal mine owners. Coal miners always had consequences and repercussions for shit they didn't even do. Oh, you came here and signed a contract that you're with the business. Now your consequence and repercussion is we're going to rape your ass with money, and you're probably going to drink yourself into depression, lose your family, and if we fire you, you lose everything on top of it anyways, and be a drifter if you can. But then you're going to have debt to us.
Yeah.
Because for you to fake work or work for 2 months while you're here, you're $3,000 in debt. Now you're fired. You owe us the $3,000 and you're evicted because we own the house. You see what I'm saying? But think about it. The government does the same thing. You own your house. I say you paid $200,000 for your house. You own your house. You're on the land. You got to pay taxes on your land. You don't pay taxes on your land. They take your fucking house.
They take it. Yeah, that is true.
So I guess the question is like, when are we going to stop looking at each other as black and white and just look at each other as a coal miner?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that might hit home here in Schuylkill County because we have a coal mining, heritage, massive coal mining heritage.
Anthracite coal region.
The black rush, right? The gold rush, or black rush or whatever it is. But why can't we do that? I mean, that's the thing. Like, who was it? I think it was Warren Buffett or somebody said that to make the United States better, just start holding accountability to politicians. So if the government shuts down on your watch, you're failing your job. You should not be in your job. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care now. Take care now. Bye-bye. Oh, let's put it this way. These people at the top, I make money like they do, but I don't have millions in the bank and I don't have 3 houses. So what's the difference? I'm guessing on the stock market like they're supposed to be doing. So why is their portfolio like, you see what I'm saying? So like, no matter how you look at it, all power and money will always be the root of all evil. And even when you get enough money, you'll want power then. And to get power is you want manipulation of people. Think about it. Power is manipulation of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You want to be able to have enough power that you can say something and people do it. And that's it. You power of a job, power of a manager, power of an owner. That's how it is. So these coal owners, they wanted all the power. They wanted all the money. They wanted the power. And that's all they cared about. And they didn't care who died or what happened to get it.
Yeah.
Kind of like our military. I don't care who dies or whatever. I want it to happen.
Right.
Right.
No,
I can't say that's military is all about that because we need military to hold ourselves and protect ourselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like over in the Middle East and stuff like that?
Especially over there, but I'm talking about any kind of force. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, I don't. How are you drawing a line with military?
So what do you mean? So like, I think military is involved in some kind of a force because at the end of the day, it's an overpowering body that tells the military what to do. Right?
Okay.
So like, and because it would be different if we looked at things the same way. Like I don't look at these 3-letter entities like I used to look at younger. As I'm getting older, I'm starting to see the hypocrisy and the double standards and then 2-tier systems they have. So I don't really trust it. So if somebody at the top has that power come down on you, they're going to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
and look at
I think the issue with
and
that.
look at the power. Not even we don't even have to talk about the military because I love the military and I love
Mhm.
my military friends and
Yeah.
everybody that has anything. And they're bigger and they're more men than I am because I haven't been in the military. I have my freedom because of what they,
Yeah.
especially Marines.
I agree.
Marines are a different fucking breed. Okay, Marines are a fucking different breed.
Yeah, once a
All right.
Marine, always a Marine.
Yeah. So we don't even need to talk about that. Let's just talk. Like, let's take military off the table. then.
Well, just to
Yeah.
touch on, just real
I mean,
quick, just to touch
yeah,
on
go
that, I feel like, because I was in the army, so I do know that like a lot of people in the military, believe it or not, have similar beliefs
Yeah.
with you. Like they share a belief with you.
Well, the
like,
way
with
I
that.
look at it is
So-
we're fucking fighting for fucking politics. We're fighting for these politicians. We're going over for war, for oil and other means and stuff like that. We're
Yeah.
not fighting for a reason. We shouldn't even be fighting for a reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we shouldn't be the world police either.
We should
so
be-
why are we?
Well, we used to fight for moral reasons.
Yeah,
we used to fight to
there is-
make the world a better place.
But our moral compass is fucking skewed as
It is
balls
now.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What moral compass?
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Things spinning.
Exactly. So I mean, again, if we compare it to back then, where would you be? What would your moral compass tell you to do?
I feel like I would have sided with the Molly Maguires.
I would have sided with Molly Maguires.
So would
too.
I.
You know,
Absolutely.
even that, like even today, like you think about like if the government got as bad as those mine owners did, what would you do?
Yeah.
What would you do to protect your family and to try and make things better for you? And you're like they sabotaged mines to collapse so
Yep.
that way they could
Mhm.
kill superintendents and
Yep.
their supervisor. Like they did stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
what would you do? Like that's
I
a
probably-
small feat
I-
compared to what I would do if things got that bad.
I mean, I
You know.
probably wouldn't kill anybody.
I don't know that I would
feel
kill anybody.
bad about that. It's just because of my moral
But if-
compass.
if
Unless,
it's
like,
over-
the only way I would be comfortable killing somebody is if they were trying to kill me.
Yeah.
So here's an
Exactly.
interesting question. So I'm Christian. My son came up to me today, yesterday, not even.
Mhm.
And he goes, Dad, if you had to fight somebody, would you feel more comfortable killing a Christian or a non-Christian? And that poses an interesting question because I am a Christian, I would believe the Christian would go to heaven. But then I'd be morally contradicted to kill the non-Christian because he could still have a chance to get there. I just thought that was an interesting,
Yeah.
interesting,
I would kill-
interesting.
Wow. Which son? How old was he? Which one was
13.
he? Okay. So
Yeah.
I would kill whoever is trying to kill me.
Now that's the situation where I said, I said
don't
if
care
it's in
what they
defense
are.
or they're
Don't.
trying to kill you, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. to them.
Doesn't-
They've made their decision.
losing is not an option. For me.
Exactly.
Losing is not an option.
Well, I mean, maybe that's where their mindset was back
don't
then. Like, you're killing our people, so now we're gonna fucking kill yours.
yeah, honestly, if you think about it, it's a
'Cause
very
they-
plausible thing that they were fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
Because if you have to go into those mines every day, no matter what the circumstances are, whatever the situation is in there, you have to do it. They don't care whether you live or die. Or
Yep.
they, at that point, it's
Yep.
like, okay, we need to start doing something to defend ourselves, or we're all just going to keep
I
dying.
mean, or
Yeah.
compare it like, so they got as ruthless as the other person, then,
Right.
So the Molly Maguires became as ruthless as the coal mine owners. Now,
He did.
what if they didn't do that? Let's look at Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Israel's not
Mm.
being as ruthless as Gaza. What's happening? Israel's getting whomped.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Now, Israel has enough power to just wipe them out, but they don't want to. They don't want to do that. They're trying not to do that.
Huh.
However, it's already past that point.
Yeah, they've already crossed that.
If you're in my house and you're coming at me with a knife, I'm not going to sit there and try to talk to you not to stab me with the
Oh,
knife.
God.
Mhm.
You
We're
see
not
what I'm
gonna have this
saying?
Yeah.
Conversation.
It's,
Yeah.
I'm going to stab you first
Yeah.
or
Now you're going to
take
be
the
on.
knife off you.
You're going to be on a t-shirt.
or try to hold you. Yeah, and try to hold you down until the cops get there. It's like, because I don't want to hurt you.
Yeah.
You might just have something going on around drugs or
Mhm.
whatever. But if I have to kill you, I will.
Mhm.
But I don't want to. If I can stop you and not kill you, I'll try. But worst case scenario, I kill you.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would look at it as I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, I wouldn't kill anybody. I wouldn't do that. But I don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know. Like if I'm say the three of us are coal miners, right? The three of us are there. We all work the same shifts. We're all working 12-hour shifts with each other. We're all enduring the suck together. After that, we go to the bar together. We drink all the time. Sundays we meet for mass. We're thick as thieves as
Yep.
us.
Yeah.
And one of you gets killed by the owner.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill
That's
that
what I'm saying.
cocksucker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
it
could
was an
see it.
escalation. I
could
could
see
see
it.
that.
And,
I can
and
see
it's
that
not,
as well.
it was like escalation over years. It wasn't like it was just like,
Yeah,
one
no,
day.
it
It
wasn't.
was
Yeah,
like, oh no, this sucks now.
Over.
You know, overnight. Like
Yeah.
it was.
True.
And I'm a firm believer in Hammurabi's code. I believe an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Abso-fucking-lutely. You know what I mean? Maybe not as drastic. I always believe in a gray area. I can't be black and white in this life. You can't.
Yeah, there's certain things
You have to be. You have to be
there has to be
grayscale.
gray.
Like there's,
Yeah.
you know, like any debate you have, you can sit there and say, yep. Oh, maybe on that occasion.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. There should be instances where, if it is black and white, instances where it can't be black and white. So
Yeah, I think this would be a gray area though, because I mean, you can't be.
Oh, yeah, it's a gray
I mean, not only is it your life, your friend's life, but there was kids, your sons.
Oh, yeah.
Were going down there with you. You
Yeah.
know, and so it meant so much more
Mhm.
because there was, like I said, the Breaker Boys. They were 8 years old, and Reading Anthracite. At the time, there was actually a law that came into effect that said you had to be 12 years or older to work in the
Mhm.
mines. They ignored it.
Oh, I didn't
They
know that. I didn't know
They
that.
ignored it. So it wasn't just you per se. It was also your sons down there.
And then that's
you
a
know,
whole nother level. Like I was
Yeah.
taking it to the friendship level that we're
Yeah,
all
you don't-
enduring
yeah.
suck together.
a whole nother level.
Exactly. That's what I
level.
was saying. What would you do if it was your family?
You know, I'd kill.
Everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. I mean, you're going down
Everybody.
there and the bosses are upstairs and the bosses are the ones that are killing people.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Collapsing tunnels on
Imagine
you.
your son goes down into one of those mines and then it collapses and the kid dies after you told them like 100 times that's not safe. They need to change some stuff.
Yeah,
And they didn't listen.
Yeah.
I'd be
know what I mean?
dead. I'd be dead because I'd go off the train.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why,
so-
like I said, I would side with the Molly Maguires for
Yeah,
that.
I
You know?
would too.
Well, I mean, I said to you that I would side with them, but I probably wouldn't kill anybody, and I'll take that back. I'd probably kill everybody.
That's what's good about talking about this stuff.
Talk
because-
about my
Yeah.
you know, friends are one thing. I'd probably go. If I'm close with a friend, I'd probably do something. But family is another.
Yeah. That's a whole nother
The
level.
whole nother level.
A whole nother
That's,
level. It really
that's a
is.
line. Like
There is no
friends are a
line.
line that you don't cross.
Yeah.
But family is just another
no line.
fucking level. Like
Yeah.
you just,
It's a
you know what I mean?
whole
For me,
nother level.
For me, it's just like there's no line that I wouldn't cross for
Well,
them,
for my family.
for my family. There's
Yeah.
no line I wouldn't cross for my family.
Right.
Nothing I wouldn't do.
I
That
agree.
should scare you.
With the bear.
Yeah.
Damn vengeance.
You mess with the bull, you get the horns. It's a metaphor. That actually happened though. Another movie.
Yeah, I mean, and more and more think about it, I would definitely side with them. And
Yeah.
I would dress up as a chick and beat the shit out of people. I'd be one ugly fucking chick. And you'd know I'm not a chick. Like, you'd know I'm not a chick. Even if I shaved my face, bro. Even
In
if I
today's
shaved my
day and age, it doesn't matter. You can identify as a
no.
chick.
Oh,
Well,
God.
no.
You could
Well,
do
we're going
that.
back to the normal times when it was more
Oh,
black
yeah.
and white on that.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I'll take that back. Some things should be black and white.
Proved wrong again.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
I'm laying as it
I
out,
mean,
you know? I'm just the big guy and big dumb guy in the corner anyways. So it's like, don't listen. I'm not giving advice, obviously. Shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Black and white on some, gray area and others.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And now,
And
depends on facts.
now the Molly Maguires did have a fall though.
What do
They
you mean?
did. Because then what the owner of the Reading Anthracite did was he hired the Pinkertons.
Pinkerton.
Oh,
What was his
I do.
name?
I don't know much about this, so you're going to
There-
enlighten me. That's wonderful. But I
So,
do
there's
know
one guy,
about the
his name's
Pinkerton.
James something. What was it? James
Webb.
James
Was it Webb?
No. James
The handprint guy?
no.
Oh.
Oh, this is where you're going to get
Oh,
into
that's
the
Alex.
This is where you're getting into the.
God, these are so many names. So many people died.
There
I'm
was
horrible.
one, yeah.
I'm horrible.
So not only did so many people die, but as we'll get to here, this led up to the largest mass execution of any group
Yep.
by the U.S. federal government in history.
Yep.
Right.
So yeah, it was based in 2 little counties in PA, but this is historically humongous.
Right.
And unfortunately, it was done mostly outside of the government, though. The anthracite owners really were the ones in control of everything. The
Hmm.
government said, hey, you can hire your own militia to keep people in check. What
Wow.
the actual
Could you imagine if they
bro?
It's gone long. It's
Bro.
gone night and day, right? One
Yeah.
minute they're saying, "Hey, you can have a militia," to the next minute, like, "You're not coal. No, no more
Nope,
coal."
can't do that.
Yeah.
We should have just brought up environmental factors back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, hold on. No, ain't nobody know that. They could barely spell, read, or write.
I know.
You know what I mean? A lot of them
We
couldn't
can't be.
speak
We
English.
need Pennsylvania to be green in 1912. Let's-
Could you imagine
no
that?
farting.
Farting.
No farting. Oh, God.
One burger a week. No.
And no cows. Oh, my
Drive this
gosh.
electric scooter. No.
Yeah, but no, that's how they got to the Molly Maguires, though. That's
I mean-
what happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So I
they-
mean, like, there was how many people were in it? I know it was called Black Thursday, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the hot.
That's the hanging, right? Of the
Yeah.
what you're talking about. It was called Black Thursday.
Yeah, but no, the way they got to that was the Pinkertons started being the enforcement of the Reading anthracite.
Uh-huh.
And the Pinkertons, I forget the guys who leads it. His last name is Pinkerton, but he devised a genius plan. He hired an Irishman to invade the ancient order of Hibernia, and he was an educated Irishman. Now, back then, there wasn't many educated people. A lot of them couldn't read, write, so he easily rose the ranks and became treasurer.
Oh.
And then he got in and he said there was a secret organization within the organization that the Molly Maguires were a part of. So they had their mole in there that was Irish, but I mean, think about the jobs back then.
Who was
Did he
Yeah.
want to work in the coal?
No, he wanted to
or
get
did he
paid.
want to get
They
paid?
probably paid him more than a coal miner.
Oh, way more.
And he didn't have to buy shit
Who
from
was
the
the
freaking
mole?
store. Pinkertons.
Some Pinkerton guy.
Yeah.
They actually had, and he did a lot of, and it's very sad. It's very sad because not only was he a mole, but he was convicted of other things afterward for like falsifying things.
Really?
Yeah.
And then
So I had
they
a
were
guy
pricks.
named
So-
Bad.
James McParland.
Oh, yeah.
James McParland.
Yeah.
That was the
yeah,
guy.
Yeah. That's
He
him.
infiltrated. He was a Pinkerton detective, and he infiltrated them. He was basically like a undercover.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the theories are that he kind of made up some of the stuff because he was Irish, and they were kind of probably a little afraid he might turn.
Yeah.
So he might have been actually embellishing what they were really doing. And that's what helped lead them down that trail. And he might have even went as far as to persuade them not to do certain things that would hurt the company, but hurt other companies and stuff. He was really underneath their thumb,
Yeah.
and he should have been convicted for a lot of stuff. A lot.
That's crazy. I didn't even know about the Pinkertons. I heard about them. I just forgot about them. I'm
He
getting
actually
old. I'm getting
he
old.
played like a pivotal role in like dismantling the Molly Maguires
Yeah, because
completely.
it was his testimony, his
Yeah.
story.
Even like became not their leader, but he was pretty high up in their organization.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was way up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they took it to court to convict them of killing the guy. Oh my gosh. Well, I need to take notes. He killed a guy. They killed a guy, and that's who everybody was kind of getting pinned on.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother story. Won't get into that. It's a little darker. It was
Not yet.
actually dark. They were afraid. I guess we'll get into it.
Just go ahead.
Get into it. We got time.
This is dark.
Viewers are gonna like it.
We're only at 43. We got it.
I don't know if they're gonna actually. I might get some hate for this, but
Well, it's not like you're making the story.
Yeah, you
It's
know,
I
history.
know,
giving
but I'm
facts,
just
bro.
saying
It's just facts.
this is legacy, and it kind of is a blemish on it. So they didn't want the slaves free from down south.
Mm.
They were worried they were going to come up and take their jobs. And during a speech that was given, the man that gave the speech and the one name you guys mentioned, I forget. I think you mentioned the name.
What? Dr. John Kehoe, I said?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was at that speech about them. Hey, come join the military. We're going to give you this. Come join the Civil War.
Yeah.
And they were mad because it cost $300, which was back then more than a year's worth of pay to get your name off the list to join the Civil War. And only the rich people could get out of it. And they were mad at that. And here he was going around saying it's all good. And they were like, yeah, you're not giving us any freedom. We have no choice. We have to do this. We have to get signed up. You know, we have families here that we have to support. And then they were worried that the slaves were going to come up and take jobs.
Yeah.
So that guy went missing. He died. They killed him. Somebody. Somebody.
Yeah.
No. Somebody. Somebody killed him. And before he could, well, actually, they found him alive. And before he could say who did it, he died. So that's kind of the story behind
Wow.
what they were
Interesting
trying
story.
to pin them on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of ugly.
Wow.
But the Molly Maguires themselves were good.
Right.
Yeah.
They were still fighting for them.
Well, they're just like
organization.
any other group. They have their like radical extremists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
They have
Exactly.
them, but that's
Yeah.
nothing new. Like you can't say that. You have radical Christians, you have radical
yeah.
Muslims,
Oh,
you have
yeah,
radical,
yeah.
like everything.
Yeah.
Everyone has
Radical
like their
everything.
you have a radical on everything.
I have
Yeah.
friends that are radical on both sides.
Right.
Yep.
Different
Radical
things.
Republicans and Democrats, and you have it. It's everywhere. So, one person's blemish on an organization shouldn't be the overall determining
No, it should-
factor on whether or not you support.
It should be over time, like the government has done.
The government.
So thinking about the Molly, I wish we could band together as people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but not kill people, obviously. But I mean, just band together and just tell each other our lives have suck, and just realize that we've all endured some suck,
Right.
Yeah.
while other people have not. I mean, you have some people that have never worked a job in their life, never worked a day in their life. But they're working per se.
And they
You know
get
what I
a
mean?
say so in our politics.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
That's
All of
crazy.
them. Yeah. Yeah.
See, I
and they
just-
get to stay there until they're 90 something.
Jeez.
So as I'm getting older, I'm just realizing like I've put a lot of work into my life. I've put a lot of work into businesses. I've done a lot of things. And for me to have as many hardships and stumbles that I've had, to just realize that no matter what happens to me or what stumbles I have, that somebody else is profiting from it, makes me upset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
I'm struggling my dick off over here. And I know that at the end of the day, you're going to make whatever. And it don't matter. And then you're going to make a decision at 5 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning that's going to affect my life for the next 2 years until it's pulled or whatever it may be.
Mm.
Like, so I can relate to those coal miners.
So
Absolutely. Thankfully, I'm not under the thumb as bad and stuff. Like, I'm not enduring anything like they have. It's more just financial based for us here. Financial and some physical and physical problems too. Like, when they start making rules out for vaccine passports and stuff like that, like they're dictating what we can and cannot do.
Yeah. That's an overreach for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, just, it's like this. Any animal, if you put an animal in the corner, it lashes out, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So you put them in the corner enough that they lashed out. So maybe if they put us in the corner enough, we'll lash out. Maybe if they do this social bullshit that they're trying to do like China does, it'll be enough for us to lash out.
We better.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
social credit score. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Your opinions and stuff on the internet affecting your financial life.
That's crazy.
Get the
What
Get outta
websites
here.
you look at, if you go look at
Yeah.
porn, stuff like that.
Wow.
I mean,
everything.
yeah, everything.
It was ridiculous.
Everything.
That
Social status.
I-
Oh, you've had too many burgers this week. Can you imagine that? I would be out of my burger. I'd be at my burger limit like the first 3 days.
Oh
I love
yeah,
the
for
burger.
weightlifters, we'd be fucked.
Oh, I'd be screwed.
We'd be fucked.
Dude.
Yeah.
Your calorie limit is too large. Meat. No, I'm good. No,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Totally screwed.
that's what I'm saying. Like, unfortunately, in this country, it takes something really shitty to happen for Americans to band together. 9/11, for instance. It's the last
Yeah.
time we actually had American unity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because no matter what, these people affected America, and we are America, and that's
Yeah.
what it was. It unified us as Americans.
Did.
We've been separated and segregated since then on every policy and issue there is. Police brutality, race, unjust race, the shit at the Capitol, the shit in cities with BLM. We've been through so much shit.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
When are we gonna
When are
come
we gonna
together?
knock? Yeah. When are we gonna realize no matter what goes on, it's still them and us.
It is.
Mhm.
It's still them. And how many people are in Congress? How many people are in the House? How many people are wealthy out of that? What's the percentage of wealth?
Probably all of them.
No, they're not all super wealthy.
What do you
But-
mean? Which ones?
Like millions. They're not all
Oh,
worth
yeah,
millions.
yeah,
Not every
no.
politician is worth millions and millions of dollars,
But
but a
still.
majority of them are.
Yeah, majority.
And if it's only 1% of the population's that rich and a majority of the Senate of the House is rich, think about it, bro.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I agree.
And then when like, that's another thing, like they're dictating what they can and can't do. Why the fuck are they dictating what they can and can't do? Why are we not dictating what they can and can't do?
Yeah.
We fucking pay them. I gave you 32 grand last year. What the fuck did you do for me?
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing. I don't see my roads being any fucking better. And the money you did have for the roads, you gave to the state police. I don't know if it was that year or what year it was, but the money they did have from the tolls and shit they gave to some other, and that's fine because I love the state police. But where the fuck did the money go for the state police then? Why you keep robbing Peter to pay Paul?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So why is all this happening? So as soon as we realize like it's really just them and us, and they're just making us against us. Because think about it. You own a business, right? So you have a business and you have 10 workers or 20 workers and all the workers are sick and tired of your shit and they're all talking about striking. What's the first thing you try to do? Stop them from banding together to strike.
If I was that kind of employer, yes, that's what I would do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, well, think about it. You are now not an employer of 10 people. You're an employer of how many million people? You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
for me,
that's tough.
Exactly. There's no way
Yeah.
you can have as much. I know you're a compassionate man. You can have as much compassion for as many employees as you want, but you're not going to make everybody happy.
No, it's not
And
possible.
you know, there's no fucking way you're not going to make everybody happy.
No, that's not
So
possible.
you're not going to bend the knee for everybody. So what do? Turn people against each other to not be against you.
Oof. Ugh. Ah. Yeah.
So now if the coal mine owners were smart, they would have tried to do that. They would have tried to get the coal miners against each other, but they needed the coal miners in unison to work too. So I don't know if they would have been totally able.
Well,
to
they did
that.
do that actually.
They did do.
Yeah.
So how did they do
the labor union
that?
went up
Oh.
against the Molly Maguires, and that's what they did.
Gotcha.
And then
So
they
really,
had the scabs on site. They had the Pinkertons set up.
gotcha.
It was a mastermind villain scene.
Yep.
Of the
Yeah, but-
owners. They had it
Yeah,
all planned.
I
It was
understand
crazy.
that. I understand that where they just came in and just used force and power because they had that from the government. What I'm saying is if you don't have that force and power and you just have people,
Oh yeah, yeah.
what do you have to do? If you have a clan of people coming after you, the only way to stop the clan of people coming after you is to deter them, to have them focus on something else.
Something
So
else.
focus on your fucking selves. Leave me alone.
Yeah, Roman Coliseum.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing with the media or whatever. Let's say it.
The media.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
it. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing the same fucking thing. It's all about separation and segregation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only that,
Wow.
I'm hearing people are like actually like segregating themselves again. Somebody was just telling me that I have to go back and see if it's in a text.
What they're
or-
doing it in schools again and stuff like that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
were
it's
just
in
saying
schools,
about that.
Yeah, the black community separating themselves
Yeah.
out again. What the fuck? Your
Yeah.
ancestors worked so fucking hard for everybody to be one united body, and now you're separating your fucking self out again.
And it wasn't like that when I went to school.
No,
No.
it's not like that.
When I went to school,
Same.
there was no black table.
No.
We all hung out.
Yeah.
I
We were all wearing Tommy Hilfiger clothes, big baggy carpenter jeans,
Yeah.
the FUBU shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there.
Oh,
Come on, I got the
Tommy
FUBU shit.
Hilfiger
I know, you know what I mean?
clothes.
Yellow backwards hat, big
Yeah.
blown up hoodie or coat, whatever. FUBU, for us bias. You know what I'm saying? We were all chilling. I mean, that's when black music was the shit.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it was
With
too.
Tupac and Biggie, and when it was like the
Okay.
shit.
You're older than me.
I'm older. You gotta remember, I'm a little older.
I still like him. I laugh.
Yeah. So
I
I mean,
was
like,
going like 50 Cent, Joe Rule.
oh, I mean, I love 50 Cent too. I was all about 50 Cent too. But that was like good to Eminem. You know, that's when like the good times
Yeah.
were coming through. Dude, everybody was empowered when we were one then. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I didn't worry about racism as much then or anything like that. I actually was a wigger at that point in time. I wanted to be
So was
black,
I.
so I was not.
Yeah.
I was not.
You were.
You know what I'm
So was
saying?
I.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Dancing,
Yeah.
going to dances on Thursday nights and shit like that. Like that's what we were. It was a united body. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like at that point in time, because I was young, the only people that were against us were the older people. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
Because that fucking music, blah, blah. No, I'm like that. You know, it's the synthesizer shit. What is
Right.
that? You know, but that's how it was. And I feel like since then it's gotten more segregated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It has.
I agree.
It has. And
Yeah, I
I
want-
mean, my children are living through it right now, and I am baffled
yeah.
I am so baffled that it's gone backwards.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I mean, I was walking down in Cleveland a couple of years ago. I was walking down the main street in Cleveland in front of the House of Blues or whatever, and some African American woman looks at me and she goes, "What are you looking at, pink dick?" I took me by surprise. I was like,
"That's crazy,
pink dick."
That's
The fuck are you talking about?
so left field.
I was like, what? I'm like, that. Nobody says that shit to me anymore. Like, why would you say that to me? I was just like, so destructive.
Very nice. Lady.
I'm like, why? I'm just a white dude. What are you talking? I wasn't even fucking looking at you, man. Like, what are you doing? And it's just
that's crazy.
It's crazy, dude. I don't look at it like that. Like I look at us as honestly, I look at us versus them. It's really both wings are attached to the crooked bird. If you're making laws and passing stuff for me while you make money, you're not for me. Why am I paying you?
Both wings are attached to the crooked bird. I like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Honestly,
that's a good analogy.
Honestly,
yeah.
If you're gonna sit there and tell me that I need to eat ramen noodles while you have a $30,000 refrigerator and you're making money off of decisions you make from the money I give you,
yeah,
we have a problem. We have a problem.
Yeah.
So I'll go back. Molly Maguires. I would do the exact same thing they did.
So would I.
I would too. I just wish I knew like what it would take for us to kind of like band together and do that stuff in today's society. Because you would need the media to shut the fuck up. Yeah.
You need the media to shut the fuck up.
Or to be real. Or to be real.
Well, what I'm saying by media shut the fuck up, real, like CNN, Fox, they're all like, okay, real journalism is dead.
Gone.
It's gone. Because journalism should be keeping these politicians accountable, challenging everything they say, seeing if it's right or wrong. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not having a fucking bias.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and everybody has a bias. Fox News has a bias. CNN has a bias. Everybody has a bias.
Yeah.
Why? No, just be a journalist. Report on journalism.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is who pays the networks?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Network. So at the end of the day, I don't know. I think it's going to be, and it's starting to get better. Yeah. It really is because of TikTok and other medias that there's not as much stipulation and control. I mean, like X now, which, previously Twitter,
I think
there's less on that, even though there's still probably a little bit. But I mean, the major one, like Facebook, is super, super restrictive. Like their censorship is ridiculous. Like I can't even say, give her enough rope to hang herself. That's an old saying. Like, if they're gonna fuck them up, if they're gonna fuck up, just let them fuck themselves up. Then,
yep.
You know what I mean? Like, no, that's now a suicidal attempt. Bullshit. Fucking. It's an old saying. It's an old phrase. Like, give them enough rope to hang themselves. So just give them enough rope to see if they hang themselves. Reel it out. Reel them back in if you need to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You can't even do that anymore.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't see TikTok actually lasting.
I don't either.
Everything has shifted. Everything is different on it now.
Yep.
And all their data is stored in the U.S. It's owned by a company that is associated with a 3-letter company.
Yeah.
What's the company?
But but it sucks because every time I see something I don't like, I hold on it and I hit not interested in stuff from this creator. The motherfucker still comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I keep if it's supposed to be logical in an algorithm that's actually like coherent and good, then why am I getting the same shit back that I said I don't want?
Yeah, it's getting TikTok's getting less and less open.
Yeah,
it really. I only see X really leading any of this. I mean, there's Substack. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
About that. No,
I don't know.
That's like a news thing.
No, I mean, but I'm hopeful X goes somewhere, but so many people hate Elon, and that's another media thing. 1 minute he's the freaking Tony Stark of Ukraine, and the next minute he's the son of a bitch. I mean, that bought Twitter and ruined Twitter. Like, no, sorry, Twitter was ruined already. If it's getting money from a 3-letter word to tell them what we can say and what we can't say on a thread, that's technically, what was their excuse? Oh, it's owned by a business. So they could tell you what they want to hear or what they don't. That's fucked up.
There's got to be some sort of balance there. And I have thought about it a little and I can't figure out a way around how it should be kept in check, because I believe business should have sovereign right over what they're doing. They should.
Yeah.
But when it becomes common ground for everybody, it's a little trickier there, because now you're not just a business, you're the community center.
Why can't we have, like, we're going to spend how much money on 83,000 FBI agents or tax IRS agents? It was
IRS, yeah.
83,000. Why can't we have do kind of the same thing with an ethical? Like, so everything we're talking about right now is just based on ethics. So like, it's your ethic to, like, okay, so yeah, you're the owner should have some say in it. But they should be allowed to do things until ethics are involved. So for instance, I'm allowed to stop you from saying such and such and such. But if you say something that's not really bad and it's just against something that I'm believing in or that somebody's paying me that they believe in, that's ethical. I should not stop you from saying that, because the ethics of that is the only reason I'm stopping you from saying that is because I get profit from it.
All right. So then
we're way off. But
then when you get to ethics, though, who determines what's ethical? That's where it gets gray.
True.
There's some people I would not want determining what's ethical.
Yeah, true.
So it's, yeah, I mean,
it is a gray.
It's a very good conundrum.
So yeah, and I mean, and that's where we're at. Yeah. I mean, so the Molly Maguires, they had it a little easier because they just
kind
grouped together.
White,
yeah, it's a little more black and white for them. Like, you're killing my family, like, intentionally. I could see you killing my family, not behind the scenes per se. I could actually see it. I actually see my relatives dying. I'm going after you. Now here we're like, oh well, I'm struggling, you're struggling, we're all struggling. It's just the way it is. It's kind of like how it is here. Like,
so that kind of actually
shouldn't be.
Reminds me of a quote that I read the one time, and it was from Henry Ford, and it's coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success.
That's awesome.
So that's something that I think like we could really like utilize that in today's day and age, because that's kind of what the Molly Maguires did. They came together, they stayed together, and they worked together to try and really bring about change, and they did. And I think if we took a page from their book in today's day and age, I feel like we could make a real difference, And it's got to start somewhere.
I mean, at least collaboration. If we could just collaborate and stop arguing over which evil is the worst, which of the two evils is the least.
Yeah, we gotta stop doing that.
You know what I'm saying? If
we're all going through we're all going through these struggles together.
Yep.
We're all in this world together.
Yep.
Right now,
and we all need to be smart. Like, if you see anything that's double standard or hypocritical, there's a reason for that. These people it's not like these people that run the country are fucking stupid. They're not.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if there is something that doesn't make sense, it's not sensible, or there's a double standard, you're like, wait a minute. Why are they kicking Venezuelans out? Are they keeping everybody, but they're kicking Venezuelans out? Think about it.
Yeah.
Venezuelan socialists won't vote. Think about it. So all you need to do is like, just question these things. Just question it, just legal or logical of it. Like how logical is it? Is there any double standard to it? Is there any hypocrisy to it? Is there any two-tier piece to it? If there is, it's bullshit, and you should be questioning it. And we should be holding people accountable to that. Like, why did you say one thing this time, and now you're saying another thing this time? Why are you saying wear one mask or even two masks at 1 minute, and the next minute you're fucking saying they're not even working?
Yeah.
And why aren't you held accountable for that? Why did you get just fucking paid? Why are you getting paid? You're misleading us. Oh, well, we don't know enough about it. Well, then why the fuck are you talking?
Right.
If you don't know enough about it, then why are you on the panel? Oh, you're the person that knows the most about it? Well, then how don't you know the most about it? And if you don't know the most about it on the panel, then why are you there? And why is somebody not there that's more educated than you?
Right.
Or are you playing dumb that you do know more than you're telling us, but you're hiding stuff? Like,
we gotta send him to a press conference.
You see what I'm saying, though? You see what I'm saying? It's easy for me. It's easy for me because all I do is I look for double standards. You know what I mean? I just look for double standards and hypocrisy. As soon as I see any of it, I know something's afoot. I know something's not right. Because anybody that has a decent logical mind will not have that hypocrisy coming. Or if they do have that hypocrisy coming, they're told about it, they change their ways. They don't just stay hypocritical.
Right.
I mean, especially in that topic per se.
There's evil afoot.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I feel like it's not as brutal as coal owners, as coal mine owners, but we're kind of feeling the same thing as these coal miners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're
For sure.
dictating. I mean, the businesses dictate how much their goods are. Well, I mean, really, the supply and demand curve does,
Yeah,
right?
there's a bit more to it, but depends.
But the government details how much tax you pay on everything. The government details how much tax you pay on it. The government details what tax you pay on what. Sugar tax, for instance. We're going to tax sugar. So now anything that has sugar in it is taxed. So sodas. Oh, do you know what? There's sugar in distilleries too. So we could tax every liquor, can't we? So now they're taxing distilleries down in Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying? They're dictating what we pay, just like coal mine owners dictate what you pay.
Yeah.
And they don't only dictate on the things that you need for the coal mine, they dictate it on everything you fucking need or want. So it's not just, oh, well, we're going to charge you extra for a coal or for a pickaxe and a shovel and work boots. We're going to charge you for fucking anything. Anything. We're going to charge you a percentage on anything.
But in ways, it's actually worse now.
Kind of.
It's worse now.
Kind of. Well, not to the point where they're, well, I mean, it kind of maybe.
It might be worse because it's harder to spot for most people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's an intricate web of trying to figure out, oh, it's so standardized that we pay tax.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so standardized. Everybody's just, that's what we do.
Yeah.
But you're giving your money you earned back to the government. That's what you're doing.
Yep.
In many various different ways. That's very confusing to actually put all together.
And what's crazy is you get in trouble. Like you can go to jail for not paying
money on money
you make.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yep. And not only that, but like let's take this hypocritical horse shit. I buy a car 5 times. How many times I pay tax on it?
5 times.
5 fucking times.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? And if I say it's for parts, or if I say that it's not worth it because the engine's a blown in it, and all it is a frame now with a blown engine in it, and I sell it to somebody for cheaper than what the blue book value is of it, guess who comes knocking at me? The government. Yeah. Why didn't you pay the money? Why didn't the tax get paid that should have been paid here? We're evaluating your car at such and such, but you sold it at such and such. What's going on?
Yeah.
Like you can scrutinize my life that much, but you can lose trillions of dollars and not scrutinize any of that.
Yeah, we gotta make a change.
Yeah, literally lost trillions.
Yeah. Multiple times, bro. This is not the first time they lost trillions of dollars. Oh, you don't know where the money went. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't know where the money went? What do you mean you don't? What about this? What about the money going to Ukraine and then getting sucked into a cryptocurrency that got burned over?
Ooh.
What about that? How come nobody's talking about that anymore? And then we keep giving money to Ukraine. Keep giving money to Ukraine. Why do we keep giving money to Ukraine? You just put all the money in. Listen, if you're in a war, I don't think you have a couple $1 million to put into a cryptocurrency. You're probably going to be building shit to fight and to be in a war. So why do you have money for anything else other than war materials?
Right.
Is FTX going to make you missiles?
No.
Sam, whatever the frick his name is he going to make you missiles? So then why do we not have more Americans outcrying about it? Because the media then gets, spotlight over here. Don't look at this over here. Nothing to see over here.
Yeah.
Let's look at this over here. Never. But that's what I'm saying. So like, essentially there is a tendency for it to be worse because we're being led by a media. We're being charged by a company. And the United States of America is a corporation, whether you know that or not.
Yeah, I heard that.
It is built on a contract. It is an organization. So, and you can denounce your citizenship, but if you do that, you can't use currency anymore.
Oof.
Yeah.
Really how that works?
Yeah. There's a lot, because I was talking to somebody that did it, and he said you got to buy a lot of gold, stuff like that.
Jesus.
So, and I met him in Cleveland, but I do feel like we are the coal miners, just a lot more, and they make a lot more money off of us. I mean, and then they distract us.
Better distractions.
So here's the problem. I'm not a history buff, and maybe I wish I was, because if I was a history buff, then I would see the repeat of history that's happening over and over and over to civilization,
which we're seeing now more than ever. Like just with us talking about this and shedding some light on the subject, and might open up a lot of eyes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's coming full circle because we talked about the Roman Empire, and we didn't even fucking plan this, right? We didn't plan this at all. So we talked about the Roman Empire and talked about how they have the gladiator matches and everything, NFL, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes on Olympics even. keep your eyes over here. We also have talked today about the money problem of it, like how they dictated how much money things are, how much money you need to spend on things, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of history repeating itself.
Right
now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying I wish I was a history buff, because it would be a lot easier for me to see this, and maybe I would have seen it a little more in my youth than I am than I'm seeing it now, because I'm really just what really changed my eyes was the way the government handled the COVID thing.
Yeah.
That was eye opening for a lot of people.
That's the first time I lost faith in our medical industry. Honestly, I mean, I still believe in medicine. I still believe in procedures. I still believe that doctors are needed. They're an elite part of the society. They know a lot. They know a lot about the human body. Now, if you put a doctor in an auto body shop, they're not going to know shit.
I'd say they know more about medicine than human body.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, the way you're at, this ailment equals this, pretty much, right? Let's get on Doctorpedia or whatever, and this ailment equals this. So I get that. But what I'm saying is like, I do believe in the procedures and stuff, but the other stuff, I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when they came out with this whole vaccine stuff, and there was a lot of discrepancies and double standards and hypocrisy in it, like, oh, this, that, the other thing, blah, 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 blah. And if you know a little bit about basic biology, like if you get COVID before you get the vaccine, you already have antibodies. So you don't need the fucking vaccine. You need your antibodies. But they were saying that shit ain't
and
real.
It actually lasted longer if you got it rather than you getting the shot.
Let's put it this way. I had COVID. I got blood work. I donate blood pretty frequently. I believe in that. Even though I've heard some horrible stories, and they actually charge for your blood. Did you know that? But anyways, the Red Cross takes your money or takes your blood and gives it to the hospital and supposedly charges for it. These are the things that I'm reading.
Oh, what?
Just reading this. I don't know if it's bullshit or not. You know how it goes.
Well, I mean, they had to pay for their staff and stuff, so I could kind of see that, because I don't want just some random Joe sticking me.
Yeah, no.
I've given about 3 gallons now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I go check.
I've never given blood.
I do Power Reds. They're the best.
I just like it because once you start hitting certain markers, like, did you ever get like a letter of where some of your blood went or anything like that?
No, there's an app now that tells you everything.
Oh yeah, I had the app too.
Yeah. Like mine went to my last donation went to Rochester, New York. To the hospital up there.
It's pretty cool.
It's cool. It's like an app. It's kind of cool.
I just got to start doing it myself. I've been wanting to donate. I just haven't had
get the app. It actually tells you when the events are.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All that stuff.
What's the app called?
Blood donor. Yeah, blood donor.
Blood donor, I believe it
Blood
is.
donor?
Yeah.
Got it.
I do it because I have sleep apnea and my red blood cells are always high. Like I think I'm at 18 right now. 20 is the cutoff for blood donation. So I try to go to keep my red blood cell count down.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody that has sleep apnea or eats a lot of red meat or anything like that. Sleep apnea is definitely huge about it. Because all it is you need more red blood cells to get oxygen through your So if you have sleep apnea, you're going to have more red blood cells because your body thinks it needs more oxygen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So that's what I do.
Plus, it's also a free blood screening.
And if you do a Power Red,
they'll let you know if you have any disease.
That's true. That's true. They also ask if you have had sex for money. I always say, "Do I? You want me to answer?" No. But it's
only on Tuesdays.
The best part about Power Red though is they give you a bag of saline too. So you're super hydrated when you get the fuck out of there. It's like a new hydration level. It's ridiculous.
Nice.
So you're the guy that sits in the chair for a while.
I'm in there 40 minutes. Yeah.
I wondered what that was.
You have to be a specific. You have to be a specific blood type.
Is that what it is? Okay, because I always just do the regular donation.
I know I'm one of them.
I'm O positive.
Oh,
you're probably
need to get in there.
You need to get in there. Then.
Wow, you need to get in there.
Yeah, because I
think I'm AB, so not as important.
I'm
the
universal donor.
Yeah, I'm not as important as you. But yeah, every bit helps for sure. I go because my wife's life was saved by blood donation.
Really?
Yeah, she was born 3 pounds premature. And she just about died. They had to give her tons of blood. And I mean, I think about me as a father. If I had a 3-pound premature baby and other people gave their blood to save that baby, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So it kind of holds very dear to my heart.
I do it because I know it helps. I know, plasma and everything. I know what goes on in the hospitals. but I do it just because my meaning of life now isn't about happiness, but about purpose or usefulness. So
Mm.
I feel like giving blood gives me a little bit of a purpose because I know I'm helping somebody, number one.
Yeah.
And then it also helps me because I know I'm helping myself because I'm getting that red blood cell stuff out. And it also
You feel
helps
useful.
your body also, exactly. But your body also then creates new red blood cells and stuff.
There's something about that that's
But
definitely
it's
good.
just euphoric all in itself because I feel good about myself because I feel good. And then I feel good about myself because I feel good that I helped somebody. And then I watch the app and I look to see where it went. And it gives me notifications. And then when I see that it says, oh, this has been put in storage, I'm like, all right, cool. Somebody will use it later. But the times that it says, oh, this was actually used, because when you do Power Red, it's enough to help 2 people.
Oh.
So it says this was actually used to help 2 patients at Rochester, New York. So now I not only felt euphoric because I helped somebody, but I actually helped 2 fucking people.
Oh,
That's
man,
cool.
that's cool.
And who knows if it was life or death? I don't know that. I don't want to know that. That's HIPAA stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But still, if it was to the point where somebody needed blood, I'm sure it wasn't like a minor thing.
Exactly.
You know?
But at the very least base, you're thinking to yourself, all right, I just helped somebody out that needed blood, not somebody like, all right, somebody's on the table that just came in from a critical, car accident or something like that. And they're laying there and they're running out of blood and we need to stick blood in them right away.
Yeah.
We're stopping the wound, but we got to get blood moving right away. They lost, 2 pints of blood or excuse me, something like that. So you don't know. You can fathom whatever you want, but there's no doubt or guess that you're not helping.
Yeah.
In a medical way. It's all about purpose, all about people. Coal miners.
Yeah. Their purpose,
non-owners.
Yeah. Purpose was definitely their livelihood and family. I mean,
what else is there?
Yeah.
I mean, when I was growing up, my purpose on this life was to be happy.
Yep.
Now my purpose on this life is be useful.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? That's the meaning of life to me, is to be useful.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Same here.
Yeah.
And being useful makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm helping somebody.
Helping people.
Whether it's my daughter or my significant other or my friends. I have purpose.
Yeah.
I'm useful. I'm helping somebody.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
I agree. All right. Anything else you guys want to add in here on we didn't touch on the hand. I am so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
gosh. Get on the
gosh.
hand. Come on.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
If you can get in, do you know if it's open yet? Because I know people were complaining that it's not open, the jail.
Oh, it's not. I could have swore I just seen a thing about that.
Maybe they're open.
Because I was just up in Jim Thorpe a month or 2 ago.
Okay.
No,
I know that they closed. I know that they closed it down for COVID.
While I was in Jim Thorpe, it was pretty cool. Do you ever see the guy that hides in a shrub? He's got like the pot underneath him.
Oh yeah.
And he's a shrub and he jumps out at people.
Yeah.
He was there.
Was he?
Yeah, and he scared 2 of my kids to death. It
Did
was,
he really?
Oh my God. Such a cool dude.
Yeah.
Let us get pictures with him and
That's cool.
everything.
Bless you.
Thanks.
But
Are you allergic to the shrub, dude?
He did. No, God did bless me.
So
though.
okay, so
make that clear.
there was 6 hangings in Pottsville on the Black Thursday.
Yep.
Technically, I think it was up to 21 hangings total over time.
Mhm.
And 3 or 4 of them was up in Jim Thorpe.
Yeah.
Jim Thorpe, shout
Great
out.
guy.
Yeah, great guy.
Wasn't
Awesome.
it wasn't called Jim Thorpe.
It wasn't called Jim Thorpe.
No, it was Mock Chunk.
It was before it became Jim Thorpe.
yeah.
It was
Mock
East
Chunk.
Mauch Chunk and
Yeah.
Mauch Chunk.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
yeah.
this is
This is
crisscrossing.
Yeah, this is great.
This is
Awesome.
good.
All right.
Oh
It's a
my
crossing.
gosh, you'll actually know more about that if you go to the other one.
Yeah.
Go to the other
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta watch them all.
yeah. Watch them all.
They're like
Forget
Lay's
that.
potato chips, dude.
You can't just have one.
One of them. They're like Pringles. Gotta eat them all.
Right.
Once
So-
a pop, can't stop.
So this guy was claiming innocence the whole time, right? He was claiming innocence. He didn't have anything to do with it. And unfortunately, through the court systems, a lot of things got flipped where they wouldn't even allow anybody of Irish descent to be on the jury.
Ooh.
They would dismiss cases and say, nope, there's Irish people, and nope, somebody mysteriously died. And then they would get it turned over and no Irishman was in the jury. So, I mean, it was all stacked up against them. Even certain wives weren't even allowed to. So anyways,
Wow.
this guy claimed innocence and he said, I'll prove my innocence before I die. Never said how. But as he was leaving to get hung, which it was even worse than that, his last day, they let the family come visit, and they were dropping sandbags of the nooses while the family was there. No concern for the family.
Wow, that's terrible.
I mean, can you imagine?
Wow.
You know your man or your dad or your husband is innocent, and they're out there just breaking your spirit.
People.
You know what I mean? But he said he would prove his innocence before he left. Nobody knew how or what he was going to do. But what he did was when he was leaving the cell, he slapped his hand on the side of the wall, and it left a handprint there.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, okay, well, who cares? We'll paint it over. Painted over, the handprint came through.
Yep, they couldn't clean it off.
Yeah.
They stripped the paint multiple times down to bare brick, painted it over, and the hand kept coming through.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's incredible.
And the
it's
handprint's there now. You can
still
go touch
to this
it.
day.
You can put your hand over it.
Wow.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
know that they closed it a little bit for COVID.
Yeah,
I want to go. I want to go put my hand on it because I feel like it has to be somewhat religious. It has to be somewhat spiritual. At least spiritual.
Right. You can't get rid of that.
I would like to maybe get a little bit of that going on.
Well, they
you know
have
what I
night
mean?
tours too. So it's
Oh.
supposedly haunted.
Oh, I don't know if I'm into all of that.
So during the day, everybody can go in and see it. But at night, no children are allowed. And it's supposedly you actually see hauntings there too.
I saw a ghost once.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Uh-huh.
What?
And
Oh, here we
I
go.
did.
Wait
Wait
for
for
the
the
punchline,
punchline, yeah.
man.
No, there is no punchline. There's no punchline. I really did.
Oh,
Listen, all right, I'll tell you the story if you don't believe me, fuckers. All right. So hold on a second.
Here we
I'll
go.
wait just a damn minute. All right.
This is one hell of a
All
build-up
right.
for a
So,
punchline.
no, it's not a punchline. I actually. Why do you guys think I'm not always just about jokes? I am. I have real stories. I'm a person and I have feelings. All right.
Oh, all right.
So
all right.
I was a kid. I might have been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, you know, something like that. And you know, I lived with my grandparents because they raised me. And me and my sister Chelsea, we always slept in the same bed, and my grandmother would like kind of come over and stay with us until we fell asleep.
Yeah.
And the one night she wanted something put on the TV. My nan said no. She started crying and went over and walked down the steps and sat at the bottom of the steps. Now it's pitch black at the bottom of these steps. Can't see anything. But you kind of like see just like a silhouette type of thing down to the bottom of the stairs, you know? And I remember hearing her cry. So I walked over to the top of the steps and I like laid down at the top of the steps. And remember, I'm 5 years old, you know,
Yeah.
so I'm just a little kid, you know? And I'm like looking down the steps at her, and she has her blanket. She had like this 101 Dalmatians blanket, right? And she's
Mhm.
sitting down at the bottom of the steps, and all of a sudden the blanket just goes gone. Ripped right out of her hands, gone. She's screaming her head off, running up the steps, screaming, comes up the steps, and we're trying to tell my nan that it happened. And we're like, the blanket's gone. We don't know where it's at. We went down, we were looking for the blanket, could not find it. Still to this day, we have never seen that blanket again.
What?
Wow.
What?
I
That's crazy.
swear, if I would like rip open that ceiling right there, the blanket's going to be up in that ceiling.
Oof.
We still have never seen it to
That's
this
crazy.
day.
I think
And
it's
that's a
Cruella-
true story. That actually happened to me.
It's the ghost of Cruella DeVille.
That's what it was.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
That's what I did there. I have kids. I know this
Yes.
shit.
Right.
That's
Nice.
fucking crazy.
That's a
though.
true story. That
That's
actually
crazy.
freaking happened. I remember that from when I was a kid.
That's
Now, I'm
crazy.
sure there might be some logical explanation as to what happened, like,
Yeah.
but I can't think of one.
Yeah, I had one experience, one somewhat encounter when I was young as well. I had lived in a trailer, and in the trailer, you had the front door went straight through the house to the back door.
Yep.
Right. Well, I'm out there. I'm playing. I don't know, Legos or whatever it was. I was little, probably around 7, and I go back to my bedroom. I hear the front door open. I walk out in my hallway. Nothing's there, but the door is wide open. And I hear footsteps going across because it creaked. It was a trailer. And I got terrified because you couldn't see nothing. But you
Mhm.
heard the footsteps and the door was sitting open.
Wow.
I ran back to my mom's room and I was pounding on the door. I was pounding on my sister's door, screaming, somebody's in the house, somebody's in the house. And I proceeded to hear the footsteps go all the way through. open the back door, and go out. Never seen anything though. And I was watching the whole time, terrified it was going to come get me.
Wow.
Holy
That's crazy.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's interesting because in my story, there was a little girl that died in the house that we were in. So, and I know she was known to play tricks on people. She wasn't like an evil spirit. She was known to play tricks on people. So like the one time I heard a story, my nan told me the story. Our house was 2 halves of a double, was, moved into one at the time. So, back when it was still 2 halves of a double, my mom was on one side and my nan and everybody was on the other side. And my mom went to the store and got some groceries, came back, and she had a container of coffee. Put the container of coffee on the counter, turned around, grabbed something, turned back around, and it was gone. The container of coffee was gone. So she went over, she was like looking everywhere, opening cabinets, trying to figure out what happened to this. And she couldn't find it. So she goes next door and she asks my nan, did I leave the coffee over here? I swear I had it. She's like, no, you took it. I saw you. Then they go next door and they're looking around everywhere and they can't find it. And then my nan was like, okay, that's enough now. Stop playing games. Put it back. And they said they turned around and it was back on the counter.
That's crazy.
Right in front of them, just like that. It was back on the counter.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
It was back on the counter, right where they left it, right where she originally left it.
I'm good. See ya.
Yeah, right.
Nope.
Yeah.
Now, so I'll probably be not going to
That old house,
to that Jim Thorpe thing for the haunted thing. No,
Right.
but
Yeah,
I would
don't-
like to see the.
If you go during the day, they don't have a haunted.
Yeah, I'd
tour.
agree
It's
with
actually open.
Is it open? They're open back
They
up?
close over the winter because it costs more money to run it than they could sell tickets because of the heat.
So it's all right.
Yeah,
so I'll
so
wait
it's
until
like a
summer.
summer thing.
Yeah. All right, cool. I'll do it summer.
Yeah.
Got to put my hand on it.
Oh, and one thing I wanted to touch on, just real lightly, is the Molly Maguires would also leave death notices on people's doors.
Oh yeah, coffin. What were they called?
Coffin notices.
Coffin notices.
Yeah, where they would literally say, "Hey, you don't start acting right,
you're gonna die.
this is where you're gonna live," and
Yep.
it was a picture of a coffin.
Yep.
So they
Wow.
were trying to verbally work with them, and
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, come on."
Like,
You know-
here's the standard.
Yeah.
Stated a standard, and if you don't come to the standard, this is your consequence and the repercussion. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing.
So they did use words first. They weren't just
Yeah, it was
straight up
letters.
murder.
They did a lot
Yeah.
of letters.
Mhm.
They did a
Yeah.
lot of letters first. Yeah, just to try to, and it did stop some of the co-owners from being that way. It did. Well, I wouldn't say stop them. It slowed them up. It
Yeah.
slowed them up, but they just turned right back around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the end, then. Yeah.
Plus, it was still, hearsay. People were saying, "Oh, that's bullshit. The Molly Maguires aren't here." Because again,
there's-
Molly Maguires were more overseas than here.
Yeah.
So they were saying, "Ah, that's bullshit. They're not really here. Why do they care about you, mix and
Right.
shit like that?" I'm sure. And but no, they
They
were
definitely
They were here.
They came.
Yeah, they definitely.
And
were.
if it wasn't the original Molly Maguires that came here, it was a group of guys that spun off
Yeah.
Molly Maguire group.
Well, I believe one of them can be traced back to that time.
That could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He immigrated directly from where it was.
Oh,
at.
awesome. So
Yeah.
he probably just. Then that's how they probably
Yeah.
learned, because they had
Yeah.
to learn it. There's no communication whatsoever,
Right.
so they had to learn it somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That makes
exactly.
sense. That makes sense.
All right. That's about all I got.
Yep.
I think that's all I have.
Yep.
Definitely learned to
Yep.
band together.
Yep. Be a
Gotta
coal
figure
miner.
that.
Be a coal
Be a coal
miner
miner.
against those coal owners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing in life, no matter where you are, you're always going to face adversity, and you could either lay down and take it. You could stand up and try and fight for what you believe is right.
Mhm.
And as long as you have health, you have chance.
Yep.
And if you don't have health, work on your health to get chance.
Watch
Give
our
us a-
good health episode.
Yeah. And start with good health. We have one of those.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
guys.
See ya.
Take care. Bye bye.